Okay, so today I'm going to show you how I tie a basic kokanee rig, starting from the rod tip working down. So we're going to have our main line coming in here, so you can see that. This will be 10-pound monofilament is what I run for my main line for kokanee. And if I'm going to be running sliding weight rig, then you need to do this step. If you're just clipping directly into a downrigger, then you can actually skip this step altogether. So you're going to have your sliding weight rig first. So these come in lots of different forms and shapes, whatever works best for you. Then you're going to want to add a bead to protect the knot. Any size bead is fine, it doesn't really matter. The kokanee aren't looking at the bead in front of your sliding weight rig. So slide that bead down there, and then you're going to want to tie into a bead chain. This is going to help reduce line twist when you're retrieving or fighting a fish. Got that tied on. And you can go ahead and clip that. Don't mind all my chickens talking in the background. So there's the sliding weight rig. Like I said, you don't need this if you're going to be using a downrigger primarily. This is just for your sliding weight rig. Although if you are getting a lot of line twist issues with a downrigger, you can go ahead and incorporate this bead chain and just omit this sliding weight setup right here. Okay, next we're going to do a 18 to 24 inch piece of 10-pound monofilament. I use Maxima Ultra Green, and we'll tie that into the bead chain. You can use any terminal knot that you're confident with. Okay, so now we've got sliding weight rig down to 18-inch 10-pound monofilament from the bead chain, and here I'm going to tie in a duo lock. And the reason I put on a duo lock is because I want to be able to rapidly change out my dodgers without having to cut my line down and retie a knot. So this makes it easy to do a quick on the water change of dodger. You know, so let's say it's cloudy or a little light in the morning and I'm running a silver dodger and then I want to flip out to a copper or gold dodger. I can do that really quickly with this duo lock. So there's the duo lock on there. Now I can just clip in my dodger and that's it. And that gives that dual lock gives it plenty of play for it to move back and forth side to side. Okay, so quick review. Main line, weight slider, bead chain. Doesn't matter if it's 5 or 8 beads or whatever. 18 to 24 inch 10-pound monofilament down to your dodger. You can also use wire bumpers here. A lot of people will call this the bumper between the dodger and the bead chain, especially if it's in a snaggy area and you want to get your dodger back. Sometimes you can run that wire or braid bumper, but most of the time with kokanee it's just 10 pounds going to be fine. Okay, now I'm going to quickly tie up my micro Hoochie rigs, which are my favorite confidence rig when I'm fishing for kokanee. So I'm going to set this aside. For this, you need micro Hoochies. You can buy bulk micro Hoochies on the Paulina Peak website, and I'll put links to that below. If you watch any of my videos, you know I'm religious about hooks, and this is no exception when I'm tying my own. So I'm going to be running the split shot, drop shot hooks from Gamakatsu. Size 1 is sort of my all-purpose one. If you have smaller kokanee, you can drop down to a size 2 or 4, and if you're chasing really big kokanee, you can maybe go up to 1/0, but honestly size 1 works great even for these bigger 20-inch cokes I chase. And then you're going to need some small beads which will fit up inside the micro Hoochies. I just go to Walmart. They usually have these little cheap like $1 tubes of like small bead variety packs. These work great. Different sizes to create optimal spacing. And then you'll need 10-pound Maxima Ultra Green or whatever monofilament that you run. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tie. I typically tie anywhere from 6 to 13 to 14 inch leaders. Most of my leaders are in that 6 to 8 inch range. So I always start with more material than I need. So I'll go ahead and take like a foot or more. And we're going to tie the hooks in first. This is just going to be very simple Snell knots. I'm not going to do anything fancy. So I'll grab 2 hooks. You can use red or black. Some people think they get more hits with the red, and that seems to happen to me a lot on the video, but on other days I don't really notice. So I'm going to start with that bottom hook first. You definitely want to tie the hooks on first before you tie your terminal knot. And just a Snell, so I'm going to do 5 or 6 loops and come back through. If you have problems with this knot unraveling, you can always do an egg loop knot. I've never had any problems with this unraveling. And clean off a little bit of that tag end. There we go. Now the second hook, I want to tie in about 1 hook length above the first one. Well, 3 times, 4 times I missed it. It must be getting old. Okay. Tying that second one, and I always tie it the opposite direction. A lot of people tie them in line, but I like 2 hooks counter facing each other because of the way these Kokanee swipe at it. So basically I want the bottom of this hook to be just a little bit above, maybe a few millimeters above that second hook. If you want to do a big setback, you can push it back a full hook length, but that spacing tends to work best for me. So just tie this in with a Snell really quickly. Okay, so there's the hooks tied in there. I'm gonna grab a micro Hoochie out of here and probably do this pink purple, which I really like. So we need to take the tip off of this micro Hoochie so you can get access to the inside to run the line through. You don't want to open it up too much though, because you want something for the line to have, or the beads to have resistance to. There we go. So I got the micro Hoochie. I'm going to go ahead and kind of figure out how many beads I need to, or how much spacing on the beads to get that to ride where I want it to. I basically want that back hook exposed completely outside of the skirt. Alright, so next I'll grab some of these beads I've poured out here and build up enough space there to make sure I can get that skirt right where I need it to be. So I'll go with these couple smaller round beads on the bottom, and then maybe go with a longer, skinnier bead here. That's why I kind of like these little variety packs. Makes it really easy to create sort of the custom length that you want. That looks pretty close to where I need it to be. Go ahead and slide the line up through the base of your Hoochie. Now if you have problems getting your beads to slide up inside, just add a little soapy water here at this point and it'll go. That looks really good spacing, so the skirt comes down to the top of the bottom hook, but it's fully exposed, and this one's up inside the skirt here. So now I just need to tie off the end of this so I can clip this into my Dodger. So I'm going to do 6 to 8 inches. So I'll find that length that I want, and I just do a quick surgeon's loop by making a loop on the end where I want it to be. It's basically 2 overhand knots, and that is it. Trim off your tag end, and then all you have to do now at this point is clip that surgeon's loop into your Dodger. There you go. So now we have Hoochie to the Dodger. The Dodger has a dual lock clipped in the top right there. That goes to a bead chain 18 inches up the line to there. Sliding weight rig if you're using dropper rigs. That's it. And then I've tried several ways to store these Kokanee leaders, and I tried rolled versions, and I've really fallen in love with these Ang boards. They're just perfect for Kokanee, and they keep your leaders a little bit more straight. So I'll just go like that, and now I have that nice and clean and tidy. So, all right guys, I'll put links to the hooks I use, and line, dodgers, and the bulk micro Hoochies. And if you guys have any questions, just let me know and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, see you out on the water or here in the backyard. Just remember, fish smarter, not harder. Bye guys.